Good morning, Bear Creek. It is Monday morning. It's still August, but it's almost September. I can't believe how fast this year is going. So let's go ahead and start off our Monday morning ride by standing on your feet and respecting our flag by saying the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Wonderful. And now, let's go ahead and say the pledge to the Texas flag.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
And now, let's go ahead and have a moment of silence, please. All right, Braves, you may go ahead and take your seat. I appreciate that. So I just have a few announcements today that I want to go through with you. First of all, obviously, this is going to be your first full day today. So you guys are going to be able to run your entire schedule from the first period all the way through to the end of the day until 3:15. Just as a reminder, at 3 o'clock this afternoon, that's when we're going to start our staggered dismissal like we did last week. At 3 o'clock, we will start with our 5th graders, and a little closer to 3:15, that's when we're going to go ahead and start our 6th graders. So, again, just to remind you, 3 o'clock, it's 5th grade dismissal, and 3:15 is going to be 6th grade dismissal. As a reminder, guys, keep up that social distancing in your classrooms and also in the hallways. You're doing a great job. Remember, when you're in the hallway, you can use those squares on the floor just to make sure that you're not too close to the person that's right in front of you. Also, you guys did a fabulous job last week with your masks, keeping them on and making sure that when you're in the building or outside the building that you have them on as well. One of the bigger things too is if mom or dad is picking you up outside and they're walking on campus, we're going to be asking them to make sure that they too have their mask on. It's all about safety at this time, guys, so just kind of help us out on that as well, okay? All right, let's talk a little bit about lunch because I like to eat. So lunch, make sure, guys, when you are eating in your classroom that you stay seated. And so teachers, if you haven't gone over that process, because I know that's something that we did not have in our video, but that's an important thing. During lunchtime, we need you guys to stay in your seat and not walk around. Remember, at this time, you guys are able to take your mask off and then eat, and that mask is a safety precaution, especially when you're around others. So we need to make sure that we're in our seat and we are spread out during lunchtime, okay? Also, if you are a person that's going to be popping in to a classroom to cover lunch, teachers, when you get to that room, you can go ahead then and allow those students that need to purchase a lunch to show their card, that they have their name card, and then they can go ahead and start walking down to the lunchroom at that time. Teachers, you do not need to release them any earlier. We can wait until the coverage person gets there before they are released. So at this time, again, make sure that people that are covering other teachers for lunch, that you can release those students to go to the cafeteria. We do have people on duty down there that will help them get them into the cafeteria safely. Okay? Also, lunch counts. Teachers, this is probably going to be a daily thing, and so I'm going to rename it, not put half-day lunch count, but I'm just going to put lunch counts. So every day before we leave out of that Character Strong announcement time, if you would please do a lunch count to see how many students are going to be eating in the cafeteria for that day. Put it into that Google Doc before 8:15 in the morning so that Maria and her staff will be able to know how many lunches to make for that particular day. So that's going to be a daily thing, not just a half-day thing, a daily thing. So if you want to put it on your calendar just to make sure that that's a nice reminder, I would probably do so. Also today, teachers, please make sure every period that you take time to take attendance. Again, we're trying to compare what we have in Aries versus what you have in front of you. So just make sure, again, that every period that you are taking attendance. And take a look at the Google Doc that Ms. Vick had sent last week as well to make sure we're plugging that in. Recess! We get to have recess today. So again, students, your teachers will let you know which side of the building that you guys are on. Remember, there are designated areas for mask taking off. Time just to kind of get some good, fresh Texas air without a mask on. So remember, you got to find those green dots on the east side, or the west side, excuse me. On the east side, you can stand under the canopy, or there's also other green dots as well. Remember, before you go out to recess, you're going to sanitize your hands, and then when you come back in from recess, you're going to sanitize them again. So before you go out, you're going to sanitize, and when you come in, you're going to sanitize as well. Now, for flex today, let's take a look at all my sticky notes, make sure I said everything I wrote down. Yes. For flex today, students, I have a little assignment for you, and it's not going to take you that long. So teachers, if you have time today or tomorrow to do this during flex, I would really appreciate it. I would like for you guys just to write down for me, and it doesn't have to be that long. It could just be maybe about 3-4 sentences, or if you want to go longer than that, that's awesome. But I want you to write down for me how it was last week to transition back to school this year. You know, a lot of times we always have perspectives of the adults and kind of from our point of view, but I want to hear from you, fifth graders. All of you guys are new to the building, so how did it feel last week to come into the building with all these new protocols, new building, new teachers? Sixth grade, you also have new teachers. Most of you know this building pretty well, but the protocols are all different. So I want you guys just to spend some time just to tell me how it was last week. What did you like? What's a little different? And again, you guys can do that during your flex time today if you guys have time. All right? All right, Braves. Well, here's to having a wonderful Monday.